On a cold Christmas Eve in 1974, the Johnson family vanished without a trace from their cozy, suburban home. No sign of a struggle, no cries for help, just an empty house filled with the scent of pine and lingering holiday cheer. For decades, their disappearance remained one of the most baffling mysteries in the small town of Maplewood, whispered about in hushed tones during family gatherings and local news segments. How does an entire family simply disappear on the night when homes are supposed to be safest? Our story begins with Emma, the youngest daughter, now grown and haunted by memories of that night. For 49 years, she clung to hope that one day, answers would come. But the years faded like snow melting under the winter sun, leaving behind only questions. What happened to her parents and brother? Was there a secret they were keeping? Or was someone lurking in the shadows? The quiet town, once vibrant and full of holiday joy, grew restless as Emma received a mysterious letter, one that no one thought would ever surface. The letter, hidden away for nearly half a century, contained chilling clues that threatened to unravel everything she thought she knew. It hinted at secrets buried deep beneath the surface and opened a door to a past long forgotten. As Emma reads the letter by the flickering light of her fireplace, a shiver runs down her spine. The words speak of betrayal, fear, and a truth too dangerous to face. Who sent this letter after all these years? And why now? The calm of Christmas Eve shatters, replaced by a suspense that grips the heart. This is not just a story of a family lost to time. It's a journey into the darkest corners of memory and the relentless search for truth. The question remains, will Emma finally uncover what happened that fateful night, or will the shadows of 1974 keep their secrets forever? Just as the clock strikes midnight, Emma hears a soft knock on the door. She freezes. Who could it be? The answer waits on the other side, but opening that door might change everything. Emma's hand trembled as she slowly opened the door, the cold night air slipping inside like a ghost from the past. Standing there was a figure she hadn't seen in decades, her childhood friend, Daniel. His eyes, though aged, held the same mix of sorrow and urgency she remembered. Without a word, he handed her a small, worn box and disappeared back into the night as silently as he had come. Inside the box were relics from that Christmas Eve 1974, an old photograph of the Johnson family smiling in front of their tree, a cracked ornament, and a faded journal. Each item seemed to carry a weight of memories Emma had tried to bury. As she flipped through the journal's brittle pages, fragments of her family's last days flooded back. Her father, Richard Johnson, had been a respected local businessman, known for his generosity, but also for keeping secrets close to his chest. Her mother, Grace, was the heart of the family, warm, nurturing, yet sometimes distant, as if shielding something from the outside world. And her older brother, Tommy, a bright but troubled teenager who often disappeared for hours without explanation. The town of Maplewood had always been tight-knit, but whispers of tension had shadowed the Johnson household. Some neighbors recalled strange visitors late at night. Others spoke of hushed arguments behind closed doors. Emma's own memories were fragmented, a mix of holiday laughter and sudden silences. The mysterious letter she received hinted at a truth no one dared to speak aloud. It suggested that the family's disappearance wasn't random. There were forces at play, dark secrets tied to the town's history and perhaps to Richard's business dealings. Emma felt the pressure mounting. Uncovering the truth could mean unearthing pain long suppressed and facing dangers still lurking in the shadows. As she sat alone, surrounded by remnants of a life lost to time, Emma's mind raced with questions. Had her family been caught in something bigger than themselves? Was someone watching her now? The cold draft in the room seemed to whisper warnings. This wasn't just a personal journey. It was a quest to bring closure to decades of fear and uncertainty. Every clue she uncovered drew her deeper into a labyrinth of secrets, where trust was fragile and every revelation risked shattering what little peace remained. The night stretched on, but Emma knew this was only the beginning. Somewhere beneath the calm facade of Maplewood, The truth waited, hidden, waiting to be found. And with each passing moment, the danger grew closer. Emma's investigation was quickly becoming more complicated than she ever imagined. As she pieced together fragments from the journal and the letter, a troubling pattern emerged. Her father, Richard, wasn't just a man with secrets. He was entangled in a web of deception that threatened more than just his family. The journal revealed cryptic entries about dangerous meetings and promises made in shadows. Emma's heart sank as she realized Richard had been involved with a powerful local group whose influence stretched far beyond Maplewood. The more she uncovered, the more she questioned everything she thought she knew about her family and about the man she once admired. Her own doubts gnawed at her. Was she willing to face the dark truth, even if it meant dismantling the image of her father? And what of Tommy, her brother? The journal hinted at his struggles with loyalty, hinting that he may have been torn between protecting the family and his own survival. Emma felt a sharp pang of guilt. Had she ignored signs of his pain? At the same time, Daniel reappeared with news that sent chills down her spine. He had been quietly investigating on his own and warned Emma that certain people wanted to keep the past buried. Friends of her father's, powerful men who thrived on silence and fear, were watching her every move. The threat was real, but Emma refused to back down. Her emotional turmoil deepened as she grappled with the moral dilemmas at the heart of the mystery. Should she expose these secrets, knowing it could destroy reputations and lives? Could justice be served after all these years, or was she chasing ghosts that would only bring pain? Meanwhile, in the shadows of Maplewood, a parallel story was unfolding. A young journalist named Sarah, intrigued by rumors of the Johnson disappearance, began her own investigation. Though unconnected at first, her findings threatened to collide with Emma's path, adding a new layer of danger and unpredictability. Hints of betrayal, loyalty, and sacrifice flickered like candlelight through every revelation. The town's peaceful facade cracked, revealing fractures that ran deep into its foundation. As Emma stared at a faded family portrait, a sudden noise outside made her heart race. A car, doors slamming shut, footsteps fading into the night. The sense of being watched was no longer paranoia. It was a warning. She knew the road ahead would be perilous. Every choice carried weight. Every secret uncovered edged her closer to truths that some wanted buried forever. But turning back was not an option. The past was alive, and it was coming for her. Emma's hands shook as she stared at the letter again. Every word felt heavier now, like a countdown ticking closer to disaster. She could almost hear the echoes of that Christmas Eve, the silence that swallowed her family whole. Time was running out. Daniel's warnings echoed in her mind. They're watching. They want the past to stay buried. But Emma was no longer a frightened girl clinging to memories. She was determined to uncover the truth, even if it meant stepping into the darkness herself. Late into the night, Emma pored over the journal, piecing together her father's last days. The entries grew more frantic, words scratched out and rewritten, a clear sign of panic. Richard had feared for their safety. Someone powerful had betrayed him. But who? And why? Suddenly, her phone buzzed. A message. Stop digging or you'll regret it. No name. No signature. Just a chilling threat. Fear surged through her veins. Was this from the group Daniel mentioned? Were they closer than she thought? She glanced at the window. The street was deserted, but shadows seemed to stretch longer, as if hiding watchers. The next morning, Emma confronted Daniel. His face was grim. They're not just watching, Emma. They're planning something. Your family's story isn't over. Tension thickened between them, old wounds reopening. Daniel blamed himself for not protecting the Johnsons back then. Emma, angry and desperate, pushed him to share everything he knew. The fragile trust between them wavered. Meanwhile, Sarah, the journalist, sent Emma a cryptic email. I'm closer than you think. Meet me tonight. It was a risk, meeting someone new in this dangerous game, but Emma knew she needed allies. As darkness fell again, Emma prepared to meet Sarah at an old diner on the edge of town. Her heart pounded with a mix of hope and dread. The truth was within reach, but so was danger. At the diner, Sarah slid a folder across the table. Inside were photos, surveillance shots of men in suits, gathering near the Johnson house days before the disappearance. Faces Emma didn't recognize. Names connected to powerful local figures. The pieces were coming together, but the full picture was still hidden. Before Emma could ask more, the diner's lights flickered. A low hum filled the air. The door creaked open. A cold voice broke the silence. "You shouldn't have come here." Emma's blood ran cold. The shadows had followed her, closing in. The past wasn't just a memory anymore. It was a storm ready to break. As the cold voice echoed through the diner, Emma's heart slammed against her ribs. She barely had time to react before a man stepped out from the shadows. Someone she never expected. It was Daniel. "Why, Daniel?" Emma whispered, disbelief choking her words. His eyes were cold, unreadable. "I had to protect you. And myself." The betrayal hit like a thunderclap. All this time, Daniel had been her ally, her confidant. But now she saw the truth. He'd been playing both sides, feeding her scraps of information while keeping secrets buried deep. Suddenly, the world shifted. Daniel confessed he'd been part of the powerful group tied to her father's disappearance. He'd helped orchestrate the silence to cover up a deal gone wrong, a secret pact that went far beyond Maplewood. His loyalty had been to survival, not truth. Emma staggered back, her mind racing. How many lies had she been told? How deep did the deception go? Meanwhile, across town, Sarah uncovered something shocking. A hidden room inside the Johnson house, untouched for decades. Inside were documents revealing Richard's double life. Part businessman, part whistleblower. He'd discovered corruption within the powerful group and planned to expose them. His family's disappearance was retaliation. Back at the diner, Emma confronted Daniel with this new knowledge. His face twisted with regret and fear. "I never wanted you to get hurt, but now it's too late." The stakes exploded. Emma realized she was caught in a dangerous game where trust was a weapon and betrayal was currency. Every choice could mean life or death. As Emma and Daniel faced off, Sarah rushed in with urgent news. Someone had been watching their meeting and was now heading straight for them. The clock was ticking. Emma had to decide. Fight for the truth, even if it meant losing everyone she loved, or walk away and let the darkness consume the past forever. The story wasn't just about a vanished family anymore. It was about courage, sacrifice, and the price of secrets. And with every passing second, the shadows grew longer. Emma's breath caught in her throat as footsteps pounded closer. The diner's flickering lights cast eerie shadows, making every face seem a threat. Daniel's betrayal weighed heavily between them, but now survival was paramount. Sarah grabbed Emma's hand. "We have to move. Now." They slipped out the back, hearts racing, the night swallowing their footsteps. Emma's mind raced. Her father's secrets, Daniel's deception, the looming danger, all converging here on this cold Christmas Eve. They reached the Johnson house, the place where it all began. The hidden room Sarah discovered was their beacon, a place to find the final pieces of the puzzle. Inside, Emma found letters her father had written but never sent. They revealed a truth even darker. Richard Johnson had planned to expose the group's corruption to federal authorities. But there was one last letter, a confession not about the group, but about the family. Tears welled as Emma read it. Richard admitted he had made a terrible choice to protect them. On Christmas Eve, he arranged for the family to disappear, staging the vanishing to keep them safe from retribution. They had been in hiding, living new lives far from Maplewood, sacrificing everything for their safety. But there was more. The letter revealed that Tommy, her brother, had struggled with this life, yearning to return. He'd left clues in the journal and the photos, hoping someone would find them. And the chilling letter Emma received? It was from Tommy, sending a message across the years. Just as Emma absorbed this, a noise upstairs startled them. Daniel appeared, no longer an enemy, but a broken man. He confessed that his betrayal had been forced. He was blackmailed into silence to protect his own family. Now, he wanted help. Together, they faced the truth. Families torn apart by secrets, love tested by fear. Emma realized that the greatest danger was not the shadows outside, but the shadows within. Suddenly, a final twist shattered everything. As they left the house, a figure emerged from the darkness, a woman. It was Grace Johnson, Emma's mother, alive and watching. She smiled sadly, knowing the story was not yet over. The past and present collided, but Emma knew this was just the beginning of healing, a chance to bring her family back from the shadows. Emma stood quietly in the soft glow of the morning sun, filtering through the Johnson house's dusty windows. The long, painful journey had finally brought answers. Answers that both healed old wounds and opened new chapters. Grace's gentle presence beside her felt like a balm to years of unanswered questions. The family was no longer lost in time or shadow, but reunited in truth. Tommy's hidden messages had bridged decades, reminding them that even in the darkest moments, hope could survive. Daniel, once the symbol of betrayal, had found redemption by standing beside them in the fight for truth. His courage to confess and seek forgiveness reflected the complex ties that bind people, not just by blood, but by choices and conscience. The town of Maplewood, too, began to change. What was once whispered fear became a story of resilience. The powerful group's corruption was exposed, justice slowly unfolding. The community, shaken but stronger, learned the cost of silence and the power of speaking out. Emma looked at the family portrait, now framed and restored. It was more than an image. It was a testament to survival, sacrifice, and the enduring strength of love. She whispered softly, "Sometimes the darkest secrets teach us the brightest lessons." As the snow melted outside, Emma made a promise to keep seeking truth, to protect her family's legacy, and to remind others that no mystery is too deep when faced with courage. For those watching this story unfold, remember, in every shadow lies a story waiting to be told. Don't let fear silence you. Seek your truth, because sometimes the greatest gift we can give ourselves and others is the light of understanding. Like, share, and subscribe to help spread awareness about cases that deserve justice. Every share could reach someone who holds a missing piece of the puzzle.